This is huge for the Houston Texans defense as they just made a sneaky good signing. We'll give you all the details right here in Texans Digest as to who this player is and what they've been up to in the NFL recently. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Donovan Regondo, and welcome to Texans Digest, your YouTube channel for all the latest news, rumors, and updates regarding your favorite H-Town team, the Houston Texans, who just came off of a 20-10 loss to the Minnesota Vikings in preseason action. Of course, it's the preseason. We're just trying to figure out how things are going, so no need to hit the panic button. No need to really hit the panic button again in terms of CJ Gardner-Johnson's injury, as that there's some good news in terms of all of that. But first, we got a new signing on the roster. It is pretty good if you ask me, considering where we're at with our safety position. I feel like this is a very safe signing, as well as a very good way to add depth, as the Houston Texans have signed Jaylen Mills to cover depth issues at safety. And I mentioned CJ Gardner-Johnson, and it's, because of his injuries, suffered a knee injury during Texans practice in West Virginia last Thursday. And Gardner-Johnson is not expected to be out long term. There's a chance he can return for the Texans Week 1 game against the Rams in Los Angeles. But, it's all very TBD, all up for interpretation. He's going to get more work done on his knee, make sure that he is as prepared as he possibly can be for the Houston Texans, if he can make that Week 1. If not, might have to push to Week 2, Week 3, just depending on what the situation is for him. Now, ultimately, this is great news for the Texans. When he was carted off the field, it didn't look great. It was something that was, a lingering question in everybody's mind. You go out and you get this safety from Philadelphia, you trade for him, and you acquire him to be your interceptor for the year. And so now to know that he's, not drastically hurt, it's not going to impact his entire year. Everything's going to be okay. I'll take a Week 1 miss, right? If anything, right? Like, that is okay with me. Ultimately, I hope he didn't get hurt, but nevertheless, he's working on his injury, hopefully to return on Week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. And we all know that we're very much preparing for that Week 1 matchup against a very good LA Rams team. Now, also, another development for the Houston Texans, unfortunately, last Thursday, safety Jimmie Ward was arrested for the second time in 2 months. To give you a little bit more details, he was first arrested June 12th on a separate charge, and then on Thursday, he was arrested after he tested positive for alcohol, which violated his previous release order. Ward spent the night in jail and was released from custody Friday. So that's just another unfortunate update regarding the Houston Texans. Hopefully, these legal matters sort themselves out. I know DeMeco Ryans has gone on to say, like, hey, we're going to let all that, all the legal stuff happen, the investigation, whatever it is, it's all going to happen, and then we'll go from there, right? Go ahead, let law and order take place. But there is concern in terms of a football perspective of what the safety room looks like. And so that's why I think a signing like Jaylen Mills makes a lot of sense and is honestly sneaky good for what they were able to do for a guy like him who's still available to be had, right? I do think it is a good move to make if you're Nick Caserio leading this Houston Texans team, making all of these decisions. You're probably wondering, for those of you who do not know who Jaylen Mills is, let me tell you a brief background on the NFL veteran. Mills brings experience, having played 9 seasons in the NFL after being a 2016 7th-round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. After 4 years in Philadelphia, he signed a 4-year, $24 million contract with the New England Patriots back in 2021. He spent last season with the New York Jets. He has played 115 career games, 91 starts, and 59 passes defended, 8 interceptions, and 450 tackles. And this is why I think it's a really good signing for the Houston Texans, and that is the reason of experience, right? I think what this team needs in terms of its kind of fluctuating situation in terms of safety with the injury to CJ and also the developments with Jimmie Ward, I do think having someone that you can go out there and sign and say, like, okay, We know you've been put in this situation before. We know you've had experience. We know you're, kind of trying to make your way, find yourself, find your footing in the NFL again, being almost a 10-year veteran at this point. But to go out there and get a guy who has been around for a long time is crucial for this team. The more consistency they can get with all these other inconsistencies kind of floating around the team, to me, is a huge win and what makes this a very good signing. Now, is he, Pro Bowler linebacker? No, like he's not like this crazy secret guy that nobody knew about who's gonna get 1,000 interceptions every single play. Like it is someone who knows what his role is. He knows that he's coming onto this team as a new player, but for the experience and leadership that he can bring to that safety room, I think is a good thing, and is what Nick Caserio was really looking at in terms of signing an additional safety to this roster. And in terms of what we can see from him, look to the preseason games, right? Go ahead and check him out for yourself. We have another preseason game this Saturday, so go ahead and stay tuned for that as well. But ultimately, I think this is a solid signing for the Houston Texans. It is exactly what they need right now. Here are some of his stats and how, I guess, for lack of a better word, relevant he has been in the NFL. As you see here, he's played consistently for the span that he has played in the NFL: 16, 15, 8, 9, 15, 16, 10, 17 games in 2023 with the New England Patriots. Only 9 games last year with the New York Jets, possibly a sign of decline. But at the same time, right, I do think it's worth noting, right? Like he wasn't getting as much snaps as like the lead players on those teams, but at the same time, he was still getting them right. He was still making a little bit of noise, right? Like he has that experience and he has everything necessary to add the depth for this safety room. In terms of just last year, he had 17 solo tackles, 27 assisted tackles, totaling for 44 total tackles last season. He had 1 sack, 1 interception. And so I look at it and I say, hey, this isn't bad. This is, in my opinion, a win for the defense, for everything that the Houston Texans want to make sure that they are solid on, have backup insurance on backup insurance on backup insurance. You can never go wrong with having more a certainty at your position spots like this, including one as important as safety. So I want to say, Jaylen Mills, welcome to the team. Hope you can make a name for yourself as a Houston Texan. And in terms of what you guys think, let me know in the comments what you think about this signing, if it changes anything for you, as well as what you expect from Jaylen Mills. I hope he has a good training camp with the Houston Texans. I hope everything goes okay. Hopefully, CJ Gardner-Johnson heals in time for that Week 1 matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. We certainly hope he is there and can get an interception for us on that team. We know we were going to need it. All right, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode of Texans Digest. We are going to give you so much more episodes about the latest on the Houston Texans. They're preparing for that Saturday matchup again this Saturday, so stay tuned for updates regarding that. Anything else, we got it covered right here on the channel. We'll see you next time. I'm your host, Donovan Regondo. Adios.